Okay, I've got the one floor pan here, platform, done on the left side of the tractor. Now, when putting this back together, you're going to have to be very, very careful, good attention to detail, how it comes apart. There's 3 bolts back here through rubber grommets that go through into the platform on the curved part of the fender. And there's a bolt. There's 2 holes, but there's only 1 bolt in this that goes up. Sorry about that. It's kind of hard to hold the camera, get into position here. There are 2 holes in this brace here, but there was only 1 bolt in that. Then there are 2 bolts, one here and one here, go through rubber grommets into the actual frame of the tractor. Then there's a big bolt here and a big bushing that go through the end of this really heavy brace. Then there is a spring that goes from the clutch pedal, goes onto here, up into this piece right here where my fingers are. When I'm done, that will be the last thing I put on. That is hard to get off. Be patient with that. That doesn't come off very easy. That takes determination to get that off. So anyhow, when you do this, I think it's well worth the time to do it. It's really going to protect the step from all the scuffing that goes on. And it's kind of hard to do a neat job with this stuff because it's not like paint. It doesn't cover smoothly like paint. It's pretty texturous. So I will touch that up, see if I can make that look a little neater. And not that it really matters. It looks better this way than it does with all the heel scuffs against it. And there's another heel scuff back here. I am not quite sure what I'm going to do. I may just touch that up with some orange Kubota paint. Make that look better. So anyway, I'm going to continue putting this back together and we'll do a little more filming later. Like I said, be patient. Once you get these bolts to all line up, things will go together quite well. You will struggle with this a little bit, and don't force it. Go get a great big hammer. That's my motto. And these are all, they had these super tight. I don't think they need to be that tight. These are all rubber grommets and stuff in here to, cut down on the vibration and to help keep everything tight. So anyway, tighten them up good and snug, and then like anything else, once you've done something with it, taken it apart and put it back together, after you run it a while, check, make sure everything is tight. So everything's going well on it. It takes a little while, so just be patient. Well, I'm down to putting the big bolt in, tightening it down. Once again, you got to pay real close attention to how this goes. It's got a bushing that goes up in the middle. It's got a great big washer on the bottom, big fender washer, and a lock washer. My dad was a big believer in lock washers. I worked for a guy one time that told me, why would you put a broken washer or a washer on something that's already broken? I myself like lock nuts, nylock nuts and lock nuts. I'm a fire and forget type of guy. Put them on and they're pretty much going to stay there. Now this was so tight I couldn't break it loose with a ratchet. I had to get a breaker bar. But I think we're good. Now I'm going to put the spring back on for the clutch. If you don't have a gear drive, well, you still have the clutch. I'll bet you if you have the HST, the hydrostatic, I'll bet you have the same arrangement that I have. So anyway, that spring's going to be a little tough to put on. I'm going to use a pair of vice grips You pull that down and lock it on. That wasn't bad at all. Piece of cake. Now, I have to put the step back on. There are these two brackets. There's 2 bolts in each bracket for a total of 4. And the step. I checked my front axle gear oil level this morning. There is the check plug right there. Here is the fill plug, which I'm getting ready to put back in. This is a 27 millimeter, I believe. Yep, 27 millimeter. Snug that up. Surprisingly, I haven't checked this in a while. Checked it after the tractor was new. I went through and checked everything. And it was not quite full. It needed just a little bit, but I wouldn't consider it low. This morning I put in over a quart, just over a quart. That kind of concerns me. I'm not seeing any leakage anywhere. And I've got the loader all greased. And one thing I wanted to point out to people, you shouldn't be doing, don't do what I do. Do not walk underneath these. That is not wise at all. I've got the loader arm locked out, joystick. On your skid steer quick attach levers, there is a grease zerk right there on each side, right there. Do not forget those. I know guys who have forgotten those. One guy had a brand new Kubota skid loader and changing implements on it quite regularly. And I was over helping him one day and we went to change and we couldn't move them. Those were all done from the cab. They wouldn't budge. And we pried and we tapped and did everything we could think of. And we finally got them loosened up. And I shot them with a little bit of grease and never had trouble with them again. I don't know if it came from the factory dry. It changed out implements quite a little bit. Boy, you can see the underside of this is sure dirty. I over-grease. I'm a big firm believer in grease. It makes a mess, but it doesn't hurt your implement. It just makes kind of a mess to clean up. So anyway, I'm going to get out from underneath the bucket like I should be, and I'm going to get my mess cleaned up here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. It was supposed to rain, so I thought good day for maintenance. Good day to do the steps. I've got them both done now. Got that one dirty already. Isn't that nice? And on the other side, we got it done and back together. So that's going to be a big improvement for that part. The black, it's going to show the dirt, and it's a flat black color at that. So, yep, be that as it may, it will certainly save on the scuffing. Okay, I've about got the maintenance wrapped up this morning. I also checked the hydraulic fluid. It needed just a little bit to be brought up to snuff. So everything is just the way I like it, 100% or better. I have never gone past 100%, but I haven't given up yet. So anyway, that's the maintenance on the tractor. Don't forget to grease under here. If you noticed here for the front axle pivot, don't forget to grease that. The Zerk is on the other side. But I just saw a video, and I just kind of took this for granted. Ask Tractor Mike put out a video of raising the tractor up with the loader and crawling underneath there and greasing it. That way the weight is off the front end. I just kind of took it for granted. And driving semi, the old timers always wanted you to jack up the front end to grease the kingpins, so the weight was off of and gets grease all around everything that way. That's just the way I've always done it. I just kind of took it for granted. That's how you do it. So evidently not everybody feels that way. So anyhow, you can check out that video on Ask Tractor Mike and see what he had to say about that. That's a pretty good suggestion that I could make to everybody. Get your weight off the front end when you grease it, so you can get grease around everything. And make sure you grease the skid steer quick attach levers so that they'll always move freely. It says to grease the loader every 10 hours. I'm always within that. Sometimes I grease it twice within 10 hours if I use the loader a lot. But that's me. And you'll notice there's grease all over my loader from over greasing, but that's a better problem to have than to have something worn out, because you don't have enough grease in it. Grease is cheap, and it gives you a chance to crawl around and look at your tractor and look for something wrong too, which is something I've learned to do from driving truck. You want to crawl underneath with your back pocket full of cable ties and look for wires and stuff hanging down, and gives you a good chance to get acquainted with your machine. That's what I would suggest. Get to know your machine. Read your owner's manual. Read it. There's a lot of good information in there. Well, that you want to know things about it, that's a good way to learn. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button. Hit that bell notification so you know when I put videos out. And if you don't hit that, I usually try and get one a week out. Try and put one out on the weekends. It doesn't always work, and I'm going to be busy this summer. That's not a guarantee, but that's what I shoot for. So thanks for watching, YouTube, and I will see you for the next one. And always remember, if you rest, you rust.